Yes, 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 yes. All right, yes, yes. What's up, YouTube? YouTube. Welcome back to the Money Flow Trading Society. Doing a little late night chat. A lot of ways to trade the stock market. Okay, looked like it wasn't going. Give me just a second. Work on the technicals. This is the chart of Starbucks. Price, let's see, where's Starbucks? $92.77. Let me pull this up. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll bring in some people. Yes, yes. Let's pull this up. Money flow trading system is fractal. And what we mean by fractal is means it can be broke up into bits and pieces and parts. All right? Bits, pieces, and parts. Meaning we can take it down to a smaller level. In science and nature, filled with fractals. Fractals a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. Listen up. They're created by repeating a simple process over and over again in an ongoing feedback loop. You know what I'm talking about? In an ongoing feedback loop. You know what that means? Starbucks Corporation is a roaster, a marketer, and retailer of specialty coffees with operations in approximately 84 markets around the world. 84 countries. You're afraid to leave San Diego. They're in 84 countries. The company has over 34,300 company-operated licensed stores. It operates throughout segments of North America, which include the United States, Canada, International, which includes China, Japan, Asia Pacific, and Europe, Middle East, Africa, Latin America, Caribbean, Channel Development, North America. The international operations sell coffee and other beverages, complimentary packaged single coffees, single-serve coffee products, and a focused section of merchandise throughout the company-operated stores and licensed stores. The channel segment, you ever heard of that? The channel development segment is engaged in the sale of packaged coffee, tea, for all my British friends, if you'd rather have tea, and ready-to-drink beverages to customers outside the company-operated and licensed stores. The company also sells goods and services under various brands, including Tivana. Would you like to try Tivana? Tivana, Seattle's best coffee, Ethos. For the truly awakened, Ethos. I'm guessing that's water for the woke folks. Ethos water. Starbucks Reserve and something with a P. Headquartered in Seattle, Washington. A fractal's never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. So, watch what we see on Starbucks on the weekly chart. Oh my. We have this pattern in the money flow. There's a pattern, and it's a pattern that's created from an ongoing feedback loop. And the feedback loop is that every day I'm given a little bit of piece, a little bit of data, right? So if you're on Instagram, I'm going to zoom it in, $92.70. Everyone on planet Earth can know the exact price that Starbucks closed. All you got to do is look. Meaning everyone's invited into this business. Anybody can do it. If you have thumbs, you can participate. Like, this is the barrier to entry to participate in Starbucks, to collect dividends and rise in the price. The barrier of entry is a cell phone. And one of the core principles of the money flow trading system, right? And one of the ways it works with investment stocks like dividends, I'm not talking trading, I'm just talking investing, is that if I believe that the stocks that I own, that over time they go up, Then what I look for as I trade the money flow is I watch this price pattern, because this is what I figured out, and you don't have to believe me, it really doesn't matter, is that I began to see that price moved in this cyclical, not even cyclical, in this fractal pattern, which is a much better way to say it. It's why I use the definition. And driven by recursion, look that word up, smarty. Driven by recursion, fractals are images of dynamic systems. Look at all the big words you're using tonight. Recursion, fractals, dynamic system. I'm so confused. The pictures of chaos. Sometimes people say, man, Morky doesn't make any sense, man. I don't like this. It's like, really? No shit. That's a basic tenet of the stock market. It's designed to drive you crazy. If your little pea brain could sit down and master it and fucking hand it and make tons of money unlimitedly, everyone would have already done it. The reason that other people are afraid of it is because it's chaos and it doesn't make sense. And it takes money from the impatient and it gives it to the patient because it's rigged. Let me let you know something. It goes up always. And then every once in a while, it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it sets you up for when it does. And the way that it does this pattern, this is on a weekly chart of Starbucks. You're going to see it moves in these waves where it'll move sideways and then it'll just start drifting higher. And then all of a sudden, it'll move sideways and it'll start drifting down. And then it'll stop and it'll move sideways and then it'll start drifting up. And that pattern there, I called the money flow. Other people were teaching it somewhat similar. There's a guy named Stan Weinstein. I've never heard anyone teach it the way I do. I know there's people that teach the 4 stages of price movement, but I've never heard anyone that put it together with the RSI and the moving averages and the MACD and the TSI and the exact fucking points of a stage 1 versus a stage 2 breakout versus a stage 4 decline and try to make sense of this chaotic mess that's called the stock market. And I don't believe for a second I know where it's going, but I know this. It tends to do what it did yesterday. And it tends to move in patterns. And it'll move it for a while until it's hit with a force that changes that pattern, and then it stops. And when it stops, it starts to go sideways as people digest the ongoing feedback loop that is the chaos every day in the stock market. The pictures of chaos, geometrically, they exist in between our familiar dimensions. Fractal patterns are extremely familiar. That means even you could understand it. Since nature is full of fractals, for instance, trees, rivers, coastlines, mountains, clouds, you can walk outside and it's cloudy and you look up in the sky and you say, I think it's going to rain. You're not a meteorologist. You didn't even go to college. What is that? That's an ongoing feedback loop. That means that, you know what, not every time, but most of the time, when it looks like that, you're about to get wet. And I didn't need any education. Why? That's a fractal pattern in nature. If you go to the beach and you're watching, you'll see a pattern in the waves. If you watch birds fly, they fly in symmetrical patterns. If you watch snow accumulate on mountains, sometimes nature will go to the point where it looks like it created a painting. You're like, how the fuck did that happen? And you're like, it's a fractal pattern of the way the sand is hitting it, and it sculpts it around the pattern. And tornadoes spin circular. They're never square. There's no square tornadoes. They're all exactly turning in a circular motion. And they spin one direction on one side of the earth and another direction on the other side of the earth. And that's not up for fucking debate. You don't get an opinion on it. That's what it does. That's a fractal pattern. And those tornadoes happen in a fractal pattern of weather, meaning the temperature and the moisture. And if I was a meteorologist, I'm sure I could break it down for you and explain, well, this is the conditions that would create a tornado. It's like, no, that's a money flow pattern. It's a fractal pattern. Price goes up and then it stops. And through that definition of stop, because it takes a minute, it begins to build what we call support and resistance. That's what that stuff is, man. That's what support and resistance is. It's a group of people having a momentary agreement. This is the high, then they come down. Next day, this is the high, and then they come down. Look at this. Look at BOR. This is a penny stock. It don't even matter what ticker it is, okay? BOR, B-O-R-R. Now, I was sent from the future. Yourself met me. I don't know if you know this. Me and you met a long time ago in the future. And you said to me, "Hey, go back and talk to myself because I need to hear it." And I said, "Are you sure?" And you said, "Yeah." Okay. One of the things we talked about was this. Look how this builds out. And not so much that it's exactly on the line, but what I want you to notice is where price stops and it can't get through it. And as you watch charts, man, you're going to see these. There's nothing magical. You can't mess it up. Be like a little kid. You got a crayon, man. And find the fractal patterns of price stopping and then hits it and stops, hits it and stops. Hits it and stops, hits it and stops. Why is price stopping there? Is there some magic phone you can call and they're like, "Hey, that's too high, stop." Next day, down. Next day, stops exactly the same price. Next day, down, down. And when it goes to the lowest low, it stops where it stopped before. It just stops. Goes back up and hits it and stops. Why is it doing that? I mean, the news coming out is fucking random. It's not the same people buying. It's millions of people. Millions of people get up every day and look at their phones as if they're Nostradamus. And they look at information coming from their computer and they look at the news and they make sweeping decisions with tens of thousands of dollars on a fucking instant. "Oh, sell." And they just start selling. Why? Did you see that? It's like, no, what happened? So if you say no, what happened? That means you weren't part of that. But other people were digesting information that comes in an ongoing feedback loop and they were making immediate decisions. Immediate decisions based on a tweet, a news story, an economic. There's people that sell things based on economic reports and they actually don't know what the fuck the report is about. They don't know. Other people are selling. Must be bad. And then it's like, well, it was bad, but now it's good again. And it's back up. And that's the stock market, guys. Every day you get up, it's just chaos. And inside of this chaos, I'm trying to make order. So what I began to see is this green line here. Remember I said it's a fractal. Stay with me. You're not going to get this. You're not going to get this. Some of you are going to miss this. This is really important. This fractal pattern, this green line, is exactly 1 month of trading. It's called a 20-day moving average, simple moving average. You learned about it in 4th grade. And in 4th grade, you just said, "Hey, here's 20 things. Here's a number on them. Add them all up, divided by 20. That's the average number." That's the moving average. It's just a way to visually see something. And it can visually tell you what price is doing. And so if I just look at a chart, I can visually tell what it's doing. I was texting about Dash today, so I've been telling my friends and family to buy Dash. Everyone's a friend of mine. Now, you didn't tell me what to buy. You're greedy. You didn't send me any text going, "Hey, this is a good deal, dude. Look at this." Why didn't you send me some of those? I mean, I keep giving them to you. So why don't you send me some? That's a whole nother conversation in class. But here we are. Here's Dash. None of you told me about it, by the way. I was the only one talking about it today. I guess you were busy. So this is going to go to $80, most likely. Now, I don't know that for certain, but here's what I know. The price of this stock is now higher than the average price of this stock over the last 20 days, which is 1 month of trading. So price has turned and it's going up now. It's trending. The average price has changed and now it's moving higher. And it's like a magnet. It's drawn to where it stopped before. And look at this. You see all kinds of this in here. Look. Stay with me, man. See it? Boom, stops. Boom, stops. What do you think could happen again? That concept there we call resistance. Inside of the money flow, since I don't perceive to know where stocks are going, I have no idea. Once it starts to go up, I assume it's going up. I mean, I'm not looking for it to go down. It's going up. And then I'm looking for it to go where it's been before because that creates resistance. And these patterns want to be built out. Stage ones want to be created. They want to develop. Stocks want to stop dropping. The natural pull, the universe order. Let me let you know a secret. God wants stocks to go up. And you're like, what do you mean? Bro, if God didn't want this to happen, he would stop it. Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? So this is a daily chart of the S&P 500. If we go to the weekly, what? It's come down some, right? But what if we go to the monthly? Where's it at? It's going up, bro. It's been going up your whole life. It's rigged. The whole game is rigged. Housing prices on the day you were born. Let me show you, man. I'm not making this up, dude. Watch. Median home price, February 1970. Oh, come on, man. Where's my chart at? Here we go. I don't want you to think I'm making this up. This is from Google. In 1970, the median home value was $17,000. Okay? Now, what's it today? Now, what if I died in 1995? So it was $17 and I started buying them. Now it's 1995 and I had a stroke. What is the median home price? Oh man, where did our thing go? Where did it go? Come on, man. I lost my sight, man. That sucks. My point being, it's a rigged game, so it keeps going up. It's going to bother me all night. Keeps going up, man. So every time you check it, so if we come over here and we put in the SPY, and you say, what was it in 2011? And they were like, oh, it's total terror. 3 months, stock market goes down, 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 down. And then it goes up. And then it goes down, down, down. Then up. And then down, down. And then up. And then down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Down, down. Up, down. Now we're down. Now we're down. Where do you think it'll go? Probably up. I mean, that's what it's been doing its whole. And so what I realized, man, that means it's rigged. That means it's rigged. Right? It's rigged, man. So if I have that information, it means I'm playing in a casino and they say, well, what's your edge? What do you mean, what's my edge? The fucking game's rigged. That card table's rigged. Meaning there's an edge, man. If you can figure out value, right? You buy undervalued shit at a certain time. If you can repeat that process over and over, like in a feedback loop, just ongoing, looking for a certain pattern to execute on. That's how you play poker. You look for a certain hand, and then you calculate the odds between your hand and the known hand, and then based on that variable, you can say there's a statistical chance of this, right? And that's what that is, man. Randomness. It's randomness. And you can know all about cards and get shitty hands and lose. And you can be the best player on the table and lose. Right? And you can not know how to play and get a great hand. Same in stocks, man. Same in stocks. But some things, even in that cosmic move of I don't know where it's going, certain things are repeated. We talked about this last week with the RSI. We know whenever that goes green, we know it's probably done going up. Look what happened. Like, they brought people on TV and they were like, well, based on the economic things of the CPI number and the underlying cost of the housing, did you see the underlying credit card number and the VCB? And it's like, I don't know about all that, bro. But I do know RSI went green. And when it goes green, it tends to stop going up. It's just how it works. I mean, it did it so much, man. I just wrote it down. I came over here and I said, okay, Here's the rules. The number 4 most important thing is RSI, Relative Strength Index. I need to measure price movement over the last 14 days. Based on that movement over 14 days, RSI gives me a reading from 0 to 100. I don't need to know why, it just does. I don't need to know how brakes work. I just know if you hit the button, it stops. And then I can just make calculated guesses on when I need to hit the button, right? So if I go up and they say, hey, it's cloudy outside, that's what the RSI is. It's not 100%. Just because it looks like it's going to rain doesn't mean it's going to rain. But every time it rains, that's what it looks like. Same here, man. That's what this is. So all tops, RSI goes extreme. And we see it right here. Boom, went extreme. So we're anticipating a stop, a movement. Now, it could work it off by just going sideways. I don't want to repeat the RSI clap. Man, we got intimate with the RSI, dude. I don't know how intimate you are with it. I feel like some of you're closer to your friends than the RSI. That's a terrible mistake. This is your friend right here. The only friend you have in life is RSI. The rest of them are not as valuable as this one. That might offend some of you. Not me. I like the RSI more than everybody here. This is your life source. This is the signal from on high. This is the signal of all signals. The RSI, man. When that thing's signals on extremes is what I'm really looking for. And we talked about last week that Waller, though, he was into the crossovers. I don't really care so much about that. It's going to cross over. All I care about is the extremes. So let's pull up a stock like, and guess what? It's almost always near resistance. Now look. Look what happened here. This is ConocoPhillips. You don't need to know the stock, man. You need to know about RSI. Look when that went extreme. We got a top. But here's the thing. It can keep going. Yeah, but here's the hack on that. Here's the hack, bro. You find the anchor point. You're like, what's the anchor point? It's these little points. Look, that's an anchor point. That's an anchor point. That's an anchor point. At the time, that would have been an anchor point. Anchor point. But we're just looking. In the past, we can see the big ones. And it's the top to the bottom, bottom to the top, and then what? To the bottom. We don't know how far they go. And the anchor points point the channel of direction. But that is all happens. We get a breakout. And all that is the signal. The next day, it's like, it's on. The horse has left the barn. We're breaking out. Here we go. And people who have been watching that are astute, they already know. Matter of fact, we know the bottom. People tell me, oh, you can't pick the bottom. Bullshit. I pick the bottom all the time. I might pick too many of them, meaning it keeps going. So the other day, let's see, meaning the way that I identify a bottom works every time. It just catches all of them is the problem. Well, how do we solve for that? Well, if we're playing a rig game that goes up, all right. Now, if I can lay that over some assets that I can be patient, and I said the stock market's a patience game. It takes the money from the impatient and gives it to the patient. So what I'm looking for as a trader, I'm looking for that move over that green line. There's a move before it. It's called stage 1. And if you're super aggressive and nibbly, if you're like me, you like to nibble. I mean, I'll build a position out. I might buy it 5 times that day. Sometimes I'll text and say, hey, I'm buying this. I might buy it 5 times that day. You're like, what do you mean? There's no cost, dude. So it runs, I buy a little here. During the day, it pulls down a little. I buy one more share. Pulls down a little, buy one more share. Say I wanted to buy 5. I don't need to buy 5 with a click. I can buy one, wait a minute, buy one, let it come in 50 cents. You can just sit there and finesse it, man. So at some point, sometimes I just stop texting them because I don't want to keep it's silly to say the same thing over and over, meaning someone asked me that in Discord today, are you adding to these, you adding to that? And it's like, no. But I'm adding to stocks that are in the exact same sector, doing the exact same thing. So if I'm down 20% in this stock, I don't have to make it back in this stock. I can hold my position in that stock, and I could totally buy this stock over here and ride up on that one. The 10% is the 10%. It doesn't have to be in the same stock, man. So, but with that, even with that said, meaning you could add it, you might add the new money to a stock you've been in for 2 years that you're already green just because you know that you have more faith in it. And if you make 10%, it doesn't matter that you didn't make it in the other stock, man. The money's the money. There's not like a little folder that says, oh, was this, did you get this money from this stock? And it's like, no. Well, hey, there's nobody doing that. That's all in your head. So it really is all in your head. And one way to get money for trades, and this is be really confusing to explain. It's not confusing to explain. It's something you got to figure out. But one of the reasons we take money down from a winning trade is to have money to trade. Right? So once you're all in a trade, the only way to roll into new trades is to take money from trades or add new money. And so what I began to do as things would bang this RSI, I'd go look and see how much are they worth. And the closer it was to say 10% within true value, I'm looking to kind of sell some probably. I want to go ahead and take some of those gains. Not saying that it can't reevaluate and go higher, but I won. I got it right. And so I want to take some of that money off. That's what this is. Even in investing, that's what this is, man. When you're going to take gains on and invest, I want to get it sell. I mean, why not sell the absolute top? Like, where's T? So far, this is right. So last Tuesday, I did that video. And I said, I'm buying T. This is the bottom. It was this day here. Now, they're testing me. And then we moved up. We bought. So anywhere in here is a buy, man. You're like, well, what if it goes lower? Okay. Don't buy this. This here. When you can learn to sidestep this, meaning you see this happening, but I don't want to buy this. That's a falling knife. There's no bottom. I'm looking for a bottom. The first sign of a bottom is going to be the RSI going extreme, right? And then the next thing I'm looking for is just the slightest tick on this histogram. The moment it ticks the other way, ongoing feedback loop, right? Fractals, never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They are created by repeating a simple process. That means you can understand it. A simple process over and over, and in the ongoing feedback loop, driven by recursion. Oh, you guys that were in the back of the class, what did recursion mean? Quick, Google it. Fractals are images of dynamic systems, the pictures of chaos. Geometrically, they exist in between our familiar dimensions. This is a fractal pattern. So when this thing is bottomed and stops every time, every bottom ever in the history of the stock market, this here ticked that way. That meant it was done going down. Till when? Till it's not. But that's how moves go, man. That's how you get moves. Meaning that's what they all look like. All moves look like that, man. So if we come over here, you're going to see what? Same thing. Started to tick, and then you get the big moves, man. Now it's on that side, right? And what happens? You see big moves. What happens when the RSI goes green? You start seeing it topping out. But here's an instance where, and right now I'm just talking big picture, but here's an instance where it banged. Keep me logged in, man. What's wrong with you? Here's an instance where it banged the RSI. Now watch. What happened? It kept going. So what does that mean? It means we need to develop rules for our trades that keep us in there in case that happens. It's okay, I'm not in a full position. You go, what do you mean? Meaning if I'm trading, I should be taking it down when it starts banging RSI, because most of the time when it's cloudy, it rains. Not all the time, but most of the time. Enough that I respect it, like, hey, start taking this trade down. It's usually going to then go sideways, and a lot of times it's then going to roll over. Now, it didn't there, but it sure did here, right? Look how far down it's gone. It's fallen from $20 to $16. So when do I want to buy it? Notice we had 2-stage run up over here, right? Look on the way down. Has stage 1, then it breaks. So I would want to buy it in here more than here. Meaning this is a stage 1. We got an anchor point. Price started moving sideways. That's what it looks like before it breaks out and runs. And if it did break out and run, where would my target be? Right there. Meaning that's the fractal pattern of the money flow. Meaning I believe that once price breaks above the green line and all these things line up, I just assume it's going to the previous high, which would be here. And I just assume if it bangs the RSI that it's done going up. But I don't want to get out just in case it does keep going up. So I want to play both sides. Sell some. Take the trade down. Now I can let it run. And then if it does stay above the green line and keeps going, great. Bonus money from trades, right? If I'm thinking trading. So that's how I'm seeing if I look at the money flow, man. Price moving through these 4 stages. Well, you see it says best time to sell. Well, that could mean trim. It could also mean do nothing. Like you're good. You're in tune, man. You're with the money flow. Like, it's all right. Bring it down. I'm not a seller. Like I don't sell BX. I've owned it for almost 10 years now. I accumulate. When would I sell some? If it was overvalued and my position was, up significantly, I might trim it. And I've done that in the past, sell 5, 10, 20 shares. You could take that money, add some new money. Now you start a new position. And the new thing you're buying, I would assume you're going to start that's undervalued. The same reason you bought the thing you're selling. At one point it was undervalued, now it's overvalued. And so you're taking gains. It's like a systematic way to reward yourself to then spread that into other positions. So a lot of my stocks were started that way. I would have a big win, take some off, buy Amgen. Where's MO now? So when we're watching MO, we want to buy down here, right? Now, notice, price has memory, that's right. Notice, dude, look at that. Come on, man. Look at this. Take it up. Look at this. My God. Now, the question becomes, are we still on? Are we still on? Hello? What's up, Eric? Chris? George? Dexter? Fellatio? No. That's not Fellatio, man. Fidelio. Man, I'm sorry, man. That's not your name. Dominique. Lucas. Shayla. Thanos. Oh, dude, you ain't related to that girl with the biotech company, are you? Man, you guys are dirty-minded, man. What's wrong with you guys, man? I don't understand you guys, man. I don't even know, man. I don't even know why I hang out with you guys. So, most of you drink way too damn much. Every time people come see me at my house, all they're doing is drinking, partying. It's terrible. I'm trying to be a healthy vegan. Theranos, that's it. Theranos. Have you seen that series on Hulu? It's about the chick from Theranos. It's like, okay, Rocky, calm down. Have you seen that? If you haven't seen it, I think it's on Netflix or Hulu. It's like the series. I could only make it through episode 2. I was like, all right, I'm fixing it. This girl's weirding me out, man. You need to calm down. Like, she's like so high strung, dude. Anyway, back to what I was saying. On MO on a daily, we now have a big sell-off. So a guy asked me today, oh, are we buying this? It's like, no, don't buy this. Remember, follow the rules. Right now, this is the bottom of the stage 4 decline. There's the crossover day. We're now in a stage 4. It wasn't a big move. We got stage 1. We got stage 2 run up. Honestly, though, it kind of kissed your sister. It kissed right there. It tagged it. It was close, man. That was close. Close enough, but didn't quite go green, but I bet it was close. It was close enough for me. If it says 70, bam, I'm hitting it. So if we were trading that, but then what? We went into the stage 3, and then bam, now it's stage 4 decline. Where do we think it'll go? Well, it's probably going to get drawn to where it was before. Well, what's the RSI? There's still room for it to move down, so we know it could keep going. Where's the MACD? Does it look straight down still? Look at that. So you see what we're doing is we're adding a repeatable process, like in this ongoing feedback loop of information. It's like, okay, give me today's data. What's up? I'm looking for a bottom. Well, what did the last bottom look like? It's like every day, just put a circle on it. I told you even you could do it. Look at you drawing circles. Look at you, stock analyst, with your circles. So that day was the lowest low. Now, you're going to do that as it comes down. Was that day it? Nope. Was that day? Oh, it went lower. Next day? No. How about this day? Okay, well, the next day, that was the lowest low. Remember, we need 4 candles. What about the next day? Held it again. Still a little early. Is it a stage? Boom. No. Shit. Okay, there's the lowest low. Now what? 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days. We now got 4 days. Price is above the 5. Uh-oh. What do we got? We got the makings of a stage 1, meaning price came down, but what's missing? The RSI. It is not extreme. That's the signal from heaven. It's telling you it's not extreme. But what do we know by looking at this? It's done it before where it just gets close. Okay? So we know that's possible, but it's still not aggressive yet, man. It's still not. And look at the MACD, dude. Look at this. Momentum still to the downside. We got no reason to believe this is done going down. None. None at all. So you see how we're waiting? What am I waiting for? Meaning, what do I think this stock is worth? Let's see. Oh, by the way, Starbucks is only a 12% discount. I don't like that. That means it's getting in the I need to trim it zone soon, probably. Maybe. We'll see. I got a pretty nice position in it. All right, MO. What do you see? Sorry. No, man, that's M, man. Come on, man. Not Macy's. Nobody's buying Macy's. Fuck out of here. Let's see. All right, MO is undervalued at 20%. They think it's a $52 stock. It ain't no $52 stock now. It's $41. Got knocked out. So, okay, we think it could go to 40. That would put the RSI extreme. That would do it, right? And that's a target. So I'm not touching this, man. You got to wait a minute. Wait for the anchor point. Once the anchor point sets up, which we saw over here, now what do we need? Now we just need the 4 days, and we need to see sideways movement. As soon as we got sideways movement, now what? We got the pattern, man. We got the pattern, man. I'm telling you. I went to the future and met you. And you told me to talk to you. Make sure you were listening. I don't know, man. Look at Starbucks on the weekly. I mean, it could go to 115. It's a perfect money flow pattern on the weekly of Starbucks. Do we use the money flow on weeklies? You can. I encourage new people not to get that too damn deep into it, man. I mean, you can go look. Don't let this mess you up because the weekly chart can take a long time. And we're trading Stan Weinstein, a guy I learned a lot from, traded on the weekly chart. Too long for me. But it is coming in handy. When you look at the weekly, I'm going to show you another one. Me and a buddy, I got a buddy that works for a hedge fund. And I told him, we were talking, and I said, man, you want to see something really cool? And he said, what? Look at PayPal on a weekly. Bam. I mean, if we're trading it, we're just trying to get ahead of this, right? So you got your breakout here. It's on a weekly chart. Now, I don't think PayPal is going back to 300 anytime soon, but it could easily go to $1.20. Like, that'd be a stage movement. Stage 1, 2, 3, and then 4, right? And so I was telling him, once we had our anchor point on that weekly, I'm like, man, watch that daily. We're looking for these runs, Now they caught this big one. And the earlier you can catch these, this is the power of support and resistance. Like you see that, right? Once these boxes start forming, it's pretty close to that same price zone, but it's a little bit off. But you can see them, right? Once you get those points that connect like that, that's telling you something. That shit there overrides everything. Like stages that start getting built, it's like, okay, there's your anchor point, right? On the run up, and then what? You draw your line. It held. So what is that telling you? Like that's stage 3. 1, 2, 3. And then what? Then it started to go down. How far did it go? It stopped. But check this out. Look where it stopped. Run the line over. That's where it stopped before, man. So these lines start connecting. I call those secondary lines when you have a big move like this and there's lines in the middle from previous stages. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to keep playing out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how price moves, man. That's the money flow. It's a fractal pattern. Now, sometimes it doesn't make the pattern perfect. Sometimes it does. All right, let me run through some stocks. That's what I was supposed to do, man. I just felt like somebody needed to hear that. I don't know, man. Hopefully somebody needed to hear it. Big move down today. We've had a big run in this stock. This stock's called Alt. I hold this in my IRA. It is one of the few non-dividend paying stocks I own. I tend to have one or two extremely speculative stocks in there. This was one of them. And you can see it had fallen from, let's see, back in its heyday, it was at $30. And then I don't remember exactly where we got in, but at some point it got stupid cheap. And it's fallen at one point all the way down to $4. We've picked up some shares. Here's the big breakout. This is the big breakout right here. So this is if you own this stock, like you don't need a filter. You need to look at the stocks you own or that you follow. Like you don't need to run a filter, man. You can easily follow 200 stocks. Easily. The Peters report follows like fucking 160. If you go look at what I follow personally, I follow like 200 stocks. It's not that big a deal. Like if you have time to talk to your girlfriend, husband, or wife, you have time to follow stocks, okay? So this is not that complicated. There's a breakout, and then what? What are we looking for? RSI, completed move, which was, and then look, it just kept drifting. The way we stay in that trade, I'm just fast forward on that, is that look where price is on this side of the green line. As long as it stays over there, pretty good. Turned into a stage, right? There's support and resistance. What? Broke out, another breakout, ran up again. And now what? Stage 4 decline, right? So would I buy this? No. Is it extreme? No. But we had already taken some down because this stock had moved huge from $4 to, so I think I banged it 3 or 4 times because I had 250 something shares. I sold 25, 30, sold some more into here. Now it's coming down. Maybe we look to add some more, but it was a great run. I still have like 100 and something shares, so we'll let it set up and see what it's going to do. Look at all that drama in just that one stock. Isn't that exciting? Let's see. I'm so excited you're here with me. ConocoPhillips. Come on, man. Look at ConocoPhillips. We already looked at that. It's going straight up. So this is the argument for diversity. This is why you don't want to be in all. I know everybody loves just growth stocks, but you don't want to be in just one thing. Or if you are, be willing to take the moves that you're given, okay? Right now, the hot stocks are oil stocks. Someone asked me yesterday, if you're not in oil stocks, how would you play it? You missed it. You know, if you just want some oil exposure, I'd just buy some Exxon and wait for the pullback. But you missed it. Keep going. Cisco, this is setting up for a trade. It's not quite there yet. Cube, no, not there yet. Dow, no. Somebody asked me if I bought Dow today. No, man. We're going to buy Dow today. Look. Here's why. Then you can just buy shit. I'm not saying that. The RSI is only 33. It's known to go extreme. It's not extreme. If we look at the moving averages, they're pointing straight down. Look at these. I don't need to waste money there. There's no bottom here. Not yet. That's pointing straight down. Look at the MACD. The histogram is pointing straight down. And this is pointing straight down. What do you think it's going to do? It's going to keep doing that until it stops. And when it stops, it will go sideways. I promise you. Look. And the quicker we can catch that. So down, 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 down. Wait, all of a sudden, it's not down. And if we go look, RSI is extreme. So if we wait and we get an RSI extreme and the MACD clicks the other way, now we've found what I talk about, the fractal being this infinite complex pattern that is self-similar across different scales, meaning you can change the time frame, but the pattern still shows up. And that it's created by repeating a simple process over and over and over again. And you can see it here, stage 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what? Tried to go, and then now it's back down to a stage 4. Now, no, I mean, if you bought some, you bought some. No big deal. I'm just trying to teach the purists of the money flow. And you may be like, fuck it, I'm just going to buy some every day. And that's good. The more you can do that on this being on the red, though, the better you're going to do playing that game. Let's keep going. Duke Energy. It's too late to get in energy trades. If you've been in the money flow for a couple years, we've been doing the energy trade, right? We've traded UTSL. I've been in this forever. We've had some great runs in this. This thing money flows. It runs way up, and when it goes green, we start selling it. And when it starts to come down, either get out or hold it so you can build it back up. And if you remember, same thing, buying over here to run it up. Now I've been taking it off. I'm down to about half the position. It hasn't completely broke down yet, though. So maybe we get another run. But honestly, if you go look at the stocks inside of this sector, the utility stocks, look at Southern Electric's true value. Come on, man. Work with me. All right, now look at this. Southern Electric, a utility stock paying a 5% dividend yield, is trading at a 20% premium, and Zillow and DoorDash and Uber and Lyft and Square and Cash App that used to trade at like 50 times earnings are trading way lower. What does that tell you about the economy? That they value shit that pays money. That's what people care about. Why? This offsets inflation, man. Like really offsets it, as in hand you money. Nothing offsets inflation like someone handing you money. You're like, man, inflation's high. And then I hand you $1,000 and you're like, hey, let's go eat. Like, you get it? Like this hands you money. So if you have big money and you have big money invested in this, you're trading at a premium, man. Typically, and people have gone to this over bonds. Bonds have not gone up, but utility stocks have. Now, FE, if you guys remember, Remember we bought into FE back in, I don't know, it's been 2 years now. There was a scandal with the stock got smashed. We bought the absolute bottom, and we've been in this thing ever since, man. And that was a while back. When was that? Oh, yeah. Oh, the good old days. Uh, First round was back over here, man. They got busted trying to bribe an official, and it went down, 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 down. And on this day, that when you get to the weekly and or the daily, we wait for the stage one. We began establishing a position. Got banged again during COVID. Good. We'll buy some more. And what? What do you see? So we've had 2 years to build this position, and it pays a dividend. I mean, how big can you build a stock position in 2 years if it pays a dividend? The best thing that could have happened to you is it fell by 50%. Like, duh. Like, that's the best thing. That's the power of dividend stocks. The only real power of a dividend stock over a growth stock, because Southern Electric is not going to pull a Tesla. It's not going to go to 120 and then split and then go to 120 and then split and then go to 100. It's not going to do that. It's not going to go to 4,000. It's not going to do that. But what it does do is hand you money. You get, you see how that, so when this thing goes cheap at a certain point, there is a bottom because it pays you money. And things that pay you money only go so low. So, a lot of people are like, oh, the housing market's going to crash. Maybe for the house you live in, not for rental houses. If they pay you money, they don't really crash, man. Unless you bought them fucked up. I mean, but I don't know anybody who would have. The standards are pretty tight nowadays. And if you listen to what I say and put 20% down, what do you care if they come down 20%? You're still making money. So that's the power of a dividend stock, is that you get free money. So there is a bottom. The reason growth stocks can fall, or biotechs or penny stocks, is you don't get shit for owning them. Nothing. You just get to ride the price up and down. So when people get scared, they can get really scared, and they keep being scared, and it'll just keep going because you really don't get shit for owning it. Only when times turn, which is why you can make so much money in a biotech, a penny stock, because you're taking on incredible risk. But once you understand that, if you embrace the volatility of a penny stock or a biotech stock, and you're like, hey, that's just the way the game is played, and because of those giant swings, I can prosper. Well, then you have an edge over people. So you lay the money flow on it, and you look for big sell-offs and quality stocks in that sector, or penny stocks. Look at where's Sava? We're at 32 now, right? Right? And if we learn to play that, what do you see here, man? It's not a perfect one, but look at this. You got to learn how to deal with these. I call them kangaroo days. People call them different things. These little blow-off days. When you get that right there, what you really want to look for is where's the close and where's the open, and that'll usually define the box going forward. You get these little super spikes. Those usually, you can watch the close on those. Not every time, but when you're drawing out your patterns. But if you know the value but because they're not paying you anything, is what I'm trying to say, is why they can swing so wide. It's why, if Bitcoin paid 10% dividend yield consistently, like, I don't know how it would happen, but let's just say it did, it wouldn't drop near as far. It wouldn't drop that far at all, matter of fact. Like, that's what the stock market's valuing right now. Big run up though in this. This is a 100% move, man. Look at this. From the low, from when the RSI hit low. Remember that? That's the signal from God. Hello. Hey, look at me. That's that. That don't get any clearer. Like, when you see that on a chart, it's an extreme moment. Doesn't mean run up in there. It just means, hey, like, look at this. Some shit's going on. And if you look on this one, I mean, it closed at the very top of the day. That's pretty damn bullish, man. But what that did is it allowed me to start drawing out that anchor point, right? And then you're like, okay, I need 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. I needed to get above the 5-day. Boom. There's our stage 1 buy. That wasn't a bad move, was it? $18 to 32, not a bad little trade. Where's it stopping? Almost exactly where it stopped before. So we would fully anticipate that it stops here if you're following the money flow. Why? RSI bang. Remember, if we're going to love her down here, we got to love her up here. And that, my friends, is a completed move. You're like, what do you mean? The fat lady has sung. That's all she wrote. Good night, folks. The party's over. That's what that means. Sideways up, sideways down. Remember, we want to hang around, though, just in case. Maybe they'll do another last call. We want to hang around. They might make another run up, meaning that three there, that RSI could work off sideways. The faster you can spot that, meaning you're looking for it. You believe that the stage 4 can come. You're not in denial. You're like, yeah, that could happen. But, where's price in relation to the 20-day? It's above it. All right, we're good. We're staying with it. You see what I'm saying? And as you get intimate, you don't need to run a filter. You need to look at your charts, man. I'm not picking on people running filters. But if you're new, I'd run less filters and look at more charts and really look at them. Like, I mean, if you ain't fell asleep with something as pretty as FE in your arms, man, I don't know. I don't even know if we're playing the same game, man. We might be doing something different. I don't know. That's a weekly chart, though. Let's take it down. I always know when I got a stock fanatic, when I can show the chart, no ticker, and they go, Starbucks. Or in this instance, I had it on the title, but there are people that if you just show them a chart, they'll be like, Spotify. You're like, really? Like if you take the 20 top stocks, if you just showed them a chart, there's people that can get pretty damn close on a lot of them. My brain is slowing down a little bit. I used to be a little more like that, not as much anymore. I used to be where you could just ask me, where's the price of a whole lot of shit, and I could tell you within 50 cents. I can't do that anymore. Can't do that anymore. Wow, look at that though. See that support being built right there, that resistance? So as this pattern is playing out, as we're watching the money flow develop, don't forget of just basic, charting. Are we seeing, are we getting, is it starting to box out here? Because why? The quicker I can catch that, and then the moment that MACD starts, look, we already got the weakness. You see it? It already started to turn. What does that tell me? It tells me the upside momentum of this is falling off, right? So this stock is stalling out for now. Would I sell that? No. But it is telling me it's stalling out, man. That's unfortunate. We got several of these stalling out like this. But that's all right. If they stall out and they don't run, and as long as they're not going down, that's fine. Look at Uber. Look at the glorious thing called Uber. So if you follow me, we put out an alert the other day. I said we were buying Uber. Now, why? Watch this. Because I am so intimate with support and resistance. Look at this. And I'll watch Uber every day, man. Uber is a fucking obsession of mine. And I really think it's an amazing stock. I think it's an amazing product. I think the price is ridiculously cheap. This is why I tell people don't buy IPOs. Never buy an IPO. Watch when the market gets hot again. You're gonna have everybody jumping right back into IPOs like they never learned this lesson. But if you've been in the market for a long time, buying IPOs is dumb as it gets. Dumb. It was dumb on every stock that you did in the last 3 years. Every IPO was crazily and if you flipped it the next day, that's not what I'm talking about. All right, but they all go on sale. Like they all crash, so you'll get a better price. So like we're buying Uber at $20, dude. It's way below the IPO. So right here, Uber stopped dropping. Look at those moving averages, how sideways they are. And look where the RSI stopped at 50. And look what happened with the MACD. It turned. Now at that point, all I'm waiting for is stochastics to come out of the underband. Right here. Stay with me, man. Don't drift off. Stay with me. I don't want to lose you here. That band, the 80-20, okay? All I'm really concerned about, not what it does in the middle. Remember last class we talked about the velocity of the RSI, the oscillation. And I was like, you're oscillating too much, probably. We're only looking to oscillate on the way down and the way up, okay? It's the only two that I care about. And on the MACD histogram, I'm just looking for the slope, right? So if I catch price putting in support and the slope changes and we get a little oscillation, slow stochastic breaks out of that underband. And it's like, that's happening, but the stock market's selling off. That's funny. So if you remember, the SPY, man, I sent that out in a text message. It's like, anybody else seeing this? You know why? It's all I just stare at it all day. Complete fucking loser. Nothing else to do. I'm like looking at the SPY, Qs. Where's Bitcoin? Where's oil? Where's gold? Where's DoorDash? What about Airbnb? Where's Square? SoFi? Where are all my dividend stocks? Like, where are they at every day? Over and over and over and over, all fucking day long. Where are they at? Looking next day, next day, next day, next day. Fucking year goes by, 10 years, 15, 20 years looking. And then it's like, oh my God, you have a lot of stocks. Yeah. That's what happens when you look at something every day. We had a big sell-off, man. Look what happened. So on this day that the market right here, catch this, that day right there, stage 4 decline. Right there. What day is that? Come on, man. Work with me, G. 26th of August. Now let's look back on Uber. Stay with me, man. I went to the future to meet you. August 26th. Look at that. Hold support. SPY doesn't. And I thought, man, that's kind of weird. Next day, holds it. SPY doesn't. Next day, holds it. SPY doesn't. Okay? This is a growth stock. Why is this not going down? So I know a lot of you saw it. But if you didn't, that's my polite way of saying, get your head out of your ass and watch these stocks, man. You got nothing more important to do. Like that, you should see. If you catch that, this pattern right there, look, it did it up here too. And then look, it does it on bottoms too. Faster you can catch, I mean, we could start talking about this one. What's the difference between that one? It's above the 20. That was the difference. We had that little break out there. So that's a slight difference. Oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Anyway, really made me feel like Uber's about to do something. Went ahead and decided this stage here is a stage 1, not a 3. There we go. Or not a 4. It's back to a 1. So it was a very small move. Stage 4. Same pattern though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's the money flow. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know where it's going. I have no idea where the stock market will be tomorrow. Now, I've done it enough that I get hunches. Every once in a while, I call an audible. And if you're in the money flow gang, I'll text you and say audible. And that means what? That means if you look at the chart, you're probably going to go, why are you doing this? This is not a buy. I know. But I've done it so much that I've seen this before. Pretty right on those. Not all the time. But when I am, I usually tag the absolute fucking bottom. Or the top, you know. I try not to call them often. And everything's got to align correctly. And the candle's got to be right, and I'm watching it every day. Like every day, I'm just watching it. I'm watching Uber, and I'm gonna watch it make me $50,000 every nickel. Just watch it from here until it gets to $50-something. So I got like 1,000 shares. So here's the beauty of that: when it gets to $40, that's $40,000. And you're like, whoa, what if it comes down to 37? Good, maybe we'll get some more. And when it gets to 50, it'll be like $60,000, right? And we can play that game, man. That's called position trading. That's not swing trading. That's not swing trading. Swing trading, if you're true, and there were people who got out of Uber and asked me if I was, and I was like, no, I'm not mad at you. I'm just doing a different trade than you're doing. And if you're swing trading it, that was your exit, man. Like I told you to take the top. We can get every top, the exact top, within 4 days. And you can get every bottom within 4 days. And you can get every breakout. But none of that tells you direction. Meaning the breakout. So we text or we post stage that Uber's breaking out right there. Right? Price above the green line. The green line represents what? 1 month of stock trading. The market's open 5 days a week. And for the kids in the back, there's 5 days in a week. There's 4 weeks. 5 times 4 is 20. This is a simple 20-day moving average so that I can visually look at it and I can tell you the price just ripped above and closed above the average of the last month of trading. That is the definition of a trend change. That one consecutive month price is now higher. Trend change. The trend has changed. And so from that point on, I'm expecting price to go higher. That's what I'm expecting on every chart. And when it breaks down, I expect it to keep going down until it stops, which is what? The RSI, and then it starts to go sideways. And the faster I can pick up on the pivot point and the sideways, the more pinpoint I could be covering a short. I don't need to rush and cover the short. I'm doing the short the exact opposite of the long. So if I got shorted and it went down, I'm looking for an anchor point. Why? I want to sell some on the anchor point. I want to sell some on the lowest low if possible. And so if I get where I can identify anchor points watching it go down, well, you can fucking short it too. Or you could buy puts. Like, there's things you could do, man. So if you want to play with options, the way you play options, in my opinion, when you're first starting, is use them as a hedge against your current positions. Then you don't lose money, man. Because if your option goes to zero, your stock goes up. Duh. Like, you get it? So you would play the options to the downside. So if we're playing options to the downside, meaning I want the opposite of a breakout, I want to break down, right? So I would be looking for shit to break down. So I turn on my options game when the market turns against me. I keep my stocks and I short the stock with a put or whatever, man. That's one way to simply play options where you don't actually lose, or lose as much. Just a little tidbit, food for thought. Yeah. Oh, man. Fractal is a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They are created by repeating a simple process over and over again in an ongoing feedback loop driven by recursion. Fractals are images of dynamic systems. The pictures of chaos, geometrically they exist in between our familiar dimensions. Fractal patterns are extremely familiar since nature is full of them. For instance, trees, rivers, coastlines, mountains, clouds, seashells, hurricanes are abstract fractals. Such as the binary code in computer language. A momentum oscillator, one of the most useful tools employed by many technicians, is the momentum oscillator. The momentum oscillator measures the velocity of direction of price movement. Meaning it's non-binary, man. It's not a he or a she. It's non-binary. When price moves up very rapidly, means it can be up or down. The extreme can be up or down, he or she. Ain't nobody judging. That's too high, that's too low. That's what it means. But here's what it means. It means over a 14-day period. So if the stock doesn't move that fast, it doesn't do it. If it just grinds nice and slow, then it doesn't do it. So it's counting 14 days, looking for big movements. Because when you get them like that, it tends to stop the movement of price. And at that point, we start looking for what? A box, stage 3 box. And if we were playing the short game, we're looking for the opposite of that. We'd be looking for stage 1, right? We'd short this and we would cover here. Now, life gets confusing when you're playing both sides. Some people are greedy. Some people are greedy. They're bisexual. Both sides. One ain't enough for me. I'm greedy. So that's the RSI, man. Plays both sides. Means you're looking for extremes to the top or the bottom, not really in the middle. Okay, not the middle. That's the value of the RSI to us. Let's keep going on our stocks. You thought I forgot. ET, MLP, all those, all the energy stocks, they're looking just rosy. They all look good. Nice. They're fine. I don't know what to say. The little bit of concern is this could possibly be a stage 3. Down here we got a stage 1. We got the breakout. We got the run up. We got the sideways. Could be forming a stage 3. Would that surprise anybody if where are we at? Would that surprise anybody if oil sold off a little? I don't think so. I'm not selling any oil stocks. I already took profits. I'm going to let them ride. Same with MLP. Same. I'm in ETRN. This is another MLP, which stands for Master Limited Partnership for the kids in the back. An MLP is different than a REIT, which is a residential real estate investment trust. That's different than a business development company, right? Like PNNT. Those are different. Those aren't REITs. Those aren't ETFs. And that's different than a closed-end fund, okay? That's a different instrument. An MLP is a different thing. And you're going to get a big old tax return, a big thing called a K1, because you're a master limited partner. You get a promotion in life. You become a limited partner. People say, what do you do? Go, well, I'm a limited partner in about 14 different businesses. What about you? And you wouldn't be lying. You actually are. Try that, fellas. Meet a young lady and she said, what do you do? Well, I'm a limited partner in about 77 corporations. How about you? Freeport McMoran, currently trading for about $30. FCX, Freeport McMoran. I'm long right now, a commodities trading silver. I told everybody I could get to look at it, that I thought it was about to rip. So far, so right. We're just trading a money flow pattern. Do you see it? Do you see what I see? Stage 1, stage 3, stage 1. That is the money flow pattern. Sideways, up, sideways, down, sideways. So as a money flow trader, I'm looking for what? $25 target. Okay, where's my pivot point? Our anchor point, right there. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. We got 4 days. I needed to close above the 5-day moving average. It did. So our buy point that I texted out was here because I watch this every day. I don't need a filter. Every day, I watch this right here. Every day. Relative Strength Index, RSI, is a tool which can add new dimension to chart interpretation when plotted in conjunction with a daily bar chart. That's it right there. Perfect buy point. Now, not to confuse you with we're back in the box. Man, it never ends. It almost sounds like I make it up. Say, man, this guy's just babbling. He's just making his shit up. Maybe. But I do think God sent me to tell you about it. I know, that sounds crazy. But the Bible says you entertain angels unaware. You don't even know you're doing it. So you're entertaining me, and I'm from the future. So there's a stage 1. We didn't get a breakout, man. But we added the next day. I think I said several times. Am I lying? I hope I wrote it down. I may not. I'm behind on the newsletter, man. I'm a little behind on the newsletter, man. Let's see. That's because it's free, so I don't really give a shit if I'm behind on it. 9.8, adding to AGQ. So where was 9.8? Let's look that up. What was going on here? So I'm thinking commodities are about to run. We got a pivot point. We got day 2, 3, and 4. And then boom. I'm pretty sure we did one before because I know we added on the 7th. I may not have put it in. there, and there. Now we're running, so up 8 or 9%. Target $25. So for me, this is just a trade. If it moves higher, I'll probably raise my stop. Let's see. All right, let's go back. That was so we got what commodity trades do we got open? We got silver, AGQ, Freeport McMoran, FCX. Well, I don't know if you know this or not. Back that up. Oil is a commodity, so we're pretty heavy in the commodity space. This is Lockheed Martin. Hadn't done anything with this in a minute. You're seeing a money flow pattern here. I'm not really looking to add any to it. What is Lockheed Martin worth? Let's look and see. LMT. Come on, man. That's lows. LMT. Come on, man. LMT. All right. Apparently I have problems. Let's see. Now look. Now the devil went down to Georgia. See what he could see. You see what I see? LMT is trading with we consider fair value. I am not interested in building up this fair value stock. So I own it. We'll leave it be. If it went higher, I'd trim some. If it went under the 200, down lower, got down to 20, 30% undervalue, I'd look at adding some. In the meantime, I'll collect the dividend. Oh, MMM. What's up there? So that's kind of a stage one. If you notice, I haven't been buying this very aggressively. I think it needs to work off a little steam here, man. 36% discount. That puts it in my buy wheel. So that means that stock is trading 30% below value. We're way below the 200-day. We're way below the previous high. We got an extreme RSI. We got an anchor point that's holding. I like it. This is a buy all day, man. Is that huge upside? No, but you're getting a quality company at a bad time, but they got money, they'll fix it. We've now reviewed the impact of the United States Bankruptcy Court denying 3M's request of the preliminary injunction seeking a temporary halt of combat arm earplug litigation. Consequently, we are removing any probability that 3M will be ultimately successful from using Chapter 11 of the code and its Aero technology subsidy to quickly settle these cases via settlement trust. Impact drops their fair value once they pay this off to $1.183. Yep, it's undervalued. It's down because of the court case, but they go too far. But because it pays a dividend, it stops. You get it? It's only going to go so far because of the dividend. MLPX, we already talked about oil. AT&T is a buy. If I had a long-term buy and hold, I would definitely be buying AT&T in its holding support. WBD, if you watch House of Dragons and you don't own this stock, that's terrible. These are the producers of House of Dragons, the most important television show on television right now. Okay? And a lot of you guys are nerds and you don't watch it, but you should watch it. It's a great show. Although last Sunday's was a little disturbing, but past that one, not so bad. Nvidia's dropping. You guys need to go. I'm going to post a podcast inside the newsletter for you to listen to that'll explain the problem that Nvidia, Intel, and the others are going to have about the future of chips. We got mofos like Tesla, Facebook, Google. They were just making their own chip. They said, fuck it, we're making our own. See, in the past, PC computing was accelerating at such a pace that there was no advantage to them making a new chip or some faster processor because a computer would come out and make it faster and it was just keep coming out. And they was like, fuck it, we'll just use the computers that are being made. Not the case anymore. Not the case. The rapid technology advancements in the cloud and shit. So they're not doubling and tripling like they were. They need faster computing, man, for these cloud and all the stuff. Their smart universe, all the shit they're doing. So the chips that Intel and them are making aren't keeping up with the demands of Google, Oracle, Ford, trains, even John Deere is making its own chips for its tractors. That the chip, all it does is a brain that runs those tractors, right? So they're now cutting out the middleman, just so you thought, just so you know. But that doesn't mean the game's over. I'll post that podcast. That was probably more than you wanted to know. Exxon. That's about it on that portfolio 3. We'll run through 4 real quick. Amgen, I'd put on your buy list. This is a dog of the Dow. It's setting up. What else we got? ARK is a buy. ARK is breaking out. Bam. ARK is breaking out. I would dig into that chip thing before you guys are just like buy NVIDIA all the way down, buy NVIDIA. Like there's some problems coming in the chip space, man. There's some problems. Their competition is coming. ARK is a buy here. It's breaking out. BX, Campbell's, nothing there. CRM's a buy here. I'm only going to be able to buy so many of these, though. Delta, I added to Delta today before the breakout. Once it got back in the box, obviously the Delta kept going, and it's now above the 20-day. This is a breakout. I'm still in it from our swing trade back over in here when we got in for the swing trade. So we're on month 2 or 3. Not to worry. We're going to get our price point. We're going to sell this bad boy at $39 or $38. ERX, First Energy, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Gilead, nothing to see there. Google, yeah, Google's a buy. Hasbro is a buy. This is a sleeper, man. You guys are sleeping on this. I feel like very few of you actually own Hasbro. Why don't you believe me, man? Why don't you believe me? I think this goes higher. I really do. That's just my little humble opinion that this $80 stock goes higher. Let's ask the good fine folks at Morningstar what they think. And the survey says 23%. Not that much higher, 104. But it is higher, and that's way past the $87. This is a good target for traders too. 87 is a no-brainer. It's a dividend stock. It's going back to $87. That's $7 move. So that's going to happen. Haynes Brands, this is forever in the doldrums. Intel, I wouldn't rush into that. IP, it's on the buy list. Not time yet. IRM, there's a lot of good dividend stocks that are on sale right now. Not one of them on sale. Right now, KHC, I'm watching this closely. So here we're at like 20 stocks that are on the watch list to buy. MFA, bought some today. Why? Put in an anchor point. It is now going sideways, and it's now starting to move up. I want to buy this stock. This could be a bottom. So I would buy this one. I would have bought this one. I'll buy all of them, but I don't want to buy this. I want to buy once it's bottomed. MO, we already talked about. I think that's it, man. We'll skip ahead. I've been on too long as it is, man. I got to go to bed. Zim, I'm in Zim. Haven't changed my opinion on Zim. Take your time with this. This is stage 1. If we're going to ride with this stock, I can give you a list of them. FE, Exxon, like we're going to ride with some of these, okay? And if you're going to ride with them, you don't need to rush and buy a bunch. Get it? Like you got time. You got fucking years. So these stocks will run up, run down, run up, run down. And if we play the stages right and we accumulate on the ones, we're going to get our heyday. Remember, we got it with utility stocks, got it with oil stocks. We'll get it again. You're going to get it with all these stocks, man. Delta's headed that way. ARK looks like it's breaking out. So a lot of good things ahead. Don't worry. Zim will turn around and it'll move up. This is why position size and patience is super important. Building out this portfolio, different sectors, different kinds of stocks with the same objective in mind to buy low, sell high, man, right? That's what we're trying to do, man. I appreciate you guys, man. What's up, David? What's up, David? Appreciate you.